Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an excellent blend for you guys today, so I'm going to go ahead. I kind of made a little bit of a mistake and forgot to make the tea beforehand. So right now the timer is counting down while the tea is brewing, but that just gives me an excuse to introduce it in a little bit more length. Today's blend is Blackberry Sage Oolong. And this is my first time tasting. First of all, I've never had a blackberry tea, and I've never had sage in my tea either. So I'm not quite sure what to expect taste-wise, but scent-wise, oh my god, this stuff smells incredible. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys right now what it looks like. Hey Ma, welcome! You can tell right off the bat, it's a very subdued color in tea. There's lots of browns and slight oranges, but the main stage is the sage. Oops, this stuff is very, okay, so it's very soft, very green. Don't know if you guys can see it very well because my hand doesn't flex that way. But I can't really hold on to it since I'm showing the guys at, oh, this is so hard. There we go. I'm showing the guys on Twitch what it looks like. But the sage in there has a very unique texture. It kind of reminds me of the Greek mountain tea, where it's really, really soft, kind of fuzzy. And that usually gives way to a softer, sweeter taste. Now for the scent, I smell a lot of the blackberry. It's very fruity, very... Pops, welcome! I see you just came in there. Alexa, stop. So the berry taste is very profound, and I'm looking forward to it because oolongs are not very. They're very soft vegetal, I guess you could say. They have a very distinct taste, but they're not overpowering. So in this case, the flavor is coming. The scent is giving way to a lot of what the flavor should be. Angela, welcome. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of this out now. And let me tell you, I am dying to taste this. Oh wow, I can't wait for you guys to see the color on this. Oh my god, it's gorgeous. Okay, so taking a look right off the bat, it's very golden. It's very, it's a bright brown, which is not something that I see every time, just due to the fact that it's an oolong. Oolongs are usually generally very light colored when you use like a, what's the word, like from Taiwan, when they're balled up and they're mostly green, you get a nice light color. This one still has a light color, but it's more on the brown orange side, and it's gonna be it's very clear, very, very vibrant. So I'm really loving the color of this. Okay, now after it's steeped, the berry is more subdued. When it's dried and when it's out in the open and like you're able to smell it better, you get a lot of the berry. But after it's put through the brewing process, I'm getting more of a soft sage. Zam, welcome. A soft sage scent to it. It's slightly on the vegetal side, but not by much. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and take my first sip and let you guys know what I think. Oh wow, that is really nice. It's got a sweet little punch to it. There's something similar to candy that I'm getting. Now, keep in mind, I do not sweeten any of my teas for the streams because I want to show you guys the natural flavor. This one has a nice grounding to it, but the sweetness, I'm not sure if it's from the berry and the sage mixed together, but it's tasting like it's got the quality of a candy, or it's a sugary taste without the sugar. So the ingredients in here is just oolong tea, sage, raspberry leaves, natural blackberry flavor, and raspberries. Now that's interesting because you have a blackberry sage oolong, but they have raspberry in it. I guess that helps bring out the blackberry flavor a little bit. But since it's got like the raspberry in it, that's just multiplying that sweet, juicy flavor. And it's also got a kind of soft texture to it that I was describing before. One that was similar to the Greek mountain tea that I've done a while ago, and it was very like soft and lemony and silky, but it had a soft texture to it as well. They call it mouthfeel. This one has something along those lines. It's a very soft flavor, a very mild, almost silky kind of mouthfeel to it. Hey, Snea, welcome. So it's really kind of unique in that way because generally a lot of the especially with adagio teas, when they don't have the ingredients like sage, it misses out on that specific kind of mouthfeel. Usually when you get the rooibos or short leaf teas, you get like a grainy kind of mouthfeel, and sometimes that bothers people. It's never really bothered me much, but for something like this, it's a nice change of pace because it's got a softer, smoother mouthfeel, and it lingers a lot longer. I'm still tasting it from my first sip. I'm really loving this. It goes like when you breathe it in, it goes right to the roof of your mouth, and it stays there. It's got like a layer of sweetness to it, and it extends from the roof of your mouth, well, the roof of my mouth, to the back of my throat. Surprisingly, it's not really laying on the tongue like I thought it would. It's a slow burn, but it stays more on the roof of my mouth than on my tongue. And that's a very interesting effect. I don't know if it's because I'm talking. Once I do the Thomas taste, I'll be able to describe it a little bit more. But I think that as I breathe out and breathe in, it moves the flavors around. And at the roof of my mouth is where it's settling, which is it's very interesting. I don't think I've had that happen before. Usually when I have a mouthfeel, it's a full mouth flavor. But I don't know. Well, I'll give it a shot with the Thomas taste, see where we're going with that. Okay. So the flavor, I'm still getting that same sensation where it's in my mouth, and as I breathe, I'm getting more of it on the roof of my mouth than my tongue. But that's actually a really it's a really interesting sensation, but the flavor remains strong and sweet, a little bit tangy, a little bit juicy. I don't even want to say acidic, because while there is citric acid in it, it's not really profound. It tastes like candy. Um, and I think that comes in a good way because some people prefer the like candy to fruit. When you have like a really good predominant sweet tooth, that comes in more appropriately. Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit more about the distinction between Taiwanese and Chinese oolongs. This one is a Chinese style oolong because you could tell when it was dry there were no balls, there were no um, what's the word I'm looking for? There were no there we go. There were no knots. It wasn't twisted or twirled or anything. It was all flat leaves. And you will see it's very similar. I'm right-handed, so it's probably why I'm doing better. But you can see it still remains flat-ish. I'm trying to get a good leaf. There we go. That's a good one right here to demonstrate. Laffy Taffy? Yeah, a little bit. Oh, I got a little bit of tea leaf that doesn't want to come out. But as you can see, there we go. It's not a ball. It's only curved because that's how it unfurled. Because you're still going to get some unfurling. But it's smaller leaf. And it's kind of curled. It's a little bit. Let me see if I can turn this around. That might give a better example. So it's very short. Oh, excuse me. Which is more indicative of a Chinese oolong because the leaves are shorter. They're cut versus the Taiwanese where they are kept whole and rolled either in the fingers or in the palms, depending on who's doing it. It's all a matter of style. But in this case, you get a different kind of taste to it. It's a bit of a stronger taste. It's higher oxidized as well. So you're going to get a more earthy, more on the earthy side rather than more on the earthy side rather than the vegetal kind of creamy side, if that makes sense. I have reviewed milk oolongs before, and they are very silky, very soft flavored versus the earthiness, the stronger flavor of Chinese oolongs. So there's advantages to both styles, and I love both dearly. So it all depends on Herman. Welcome. It all depends on your specific tastes. Oh, I love this stuff. And the sage blends very well with the berry because it's adding that kind of a fragrance to it that balances out the strength of the berry, or the berries in this case, because there's blackberry and raspberry in it. So as I'm drinking it, it's kind of like the seasoning on it, where it's giving it a fragrance, it's giving it a more floral tone to it, but it's also adding the texture, which would definitely be missed if it didn't have the sage in it. It's kind of silky, almost cottony, and you can even feel that when you touch it. It's very, very poofy, if that makes sense. I could not. I guess it's so delicate that I was just not able to like pick a piece out and just show it to you guys because my fingers are kind of heavy and it just it's brittle, and it just kind of Vanessa, welcome. It just kind of flaked apart. And so, I was hoping to get a good piece, a nice strong piece, to show you guys the way that it looks, because there's something interesting about herbs like that, where it has that specific taste, and it's only because it also has the silky texture on the leaf itself. They usually have white whiskers on there. I'm able to see it here, and as well, it's on the Greek mountain tea that I'm always comparing it to, where you get this nice soft flavor, and that's where it comes from the white whiskers. That's why you have stuff like silver needle. Silver needle is the bud itself plucked and dried, and it maintains the white whiskers on there, specifically for that cottony, silky, smooth texture, which translates to sweetness on the tongue. This case, you're getting the sweetness of that, along with the sweetness of the berry, along with the tanginess of the berry, and that makes for a really good combination. So in this case, I think that I would also try, this is just my personal opinion, I have a massive rainbow behind me. I don't know, I don't see it. But let me take a look. Yeah, at this angle I can't see it very well. But I'm sure I have like this, if you guys can see it, great. I have this like reading rainbow kind of thing going. So the more you know. Hey, it works out for me. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, it's lost. Oh yeah. The combination between the texture and the texture and the flavor. So with the whiskers, you get a nice silkiness to it, and that's a really great. It's a really great thing to add to a tea, especially if the flavors are strong and sweet, which these definitely are. It's like I mentioned before, it's a little bit more on the earthy side, so the silkiness is going to mute it down a little bit, which is it's incredible. I'm loving this. I would love to try this iced. I think this is an ideal candidate. I personally love fruity iced teas, and something like this, which is already naturally sweet. Oh, I just saw it. I got lightning behind me. But anyway, I think that this would go very well iced. Since it's already naturally sweet, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out more naturally. I would probably add. I mean, I usually sweeten my iced teas anyway, but in this case, it's not really gonna need it. Maybe just a little bit, but I would probably prefer it hot brewed and then cooled down. To get out all of the the flavors. The only thing is, like, since this is an oolong, I'd have to be very careful the way I do it, because when you oversteep an oolong, that's it. Like, you're gonna get it. It's gonna be bitter. It's gonna be ruined. And imagine drinking a whole pitcher of ruined iced tea. Oh, that's just awful. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor. Questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now is the time. I don't think I have any announcements quite yet. However, there are some things I want to talk about the future of the community. As you guys know, I'm also streaming on Twitch now. And I would love to promote the channel more often, just to open up to a wider audience. And I've already got a couple of followers whom I appreciate very much. And you guys are awesome. I would love to get more followers on Twitch, so I already posted the link on the About Us portion of the community Facebook page. So you guys are more than welcome to check out either one of my streams. It's all up to you. But yeah, it would be great to just open up the platform and get more people to come in and check it out. So awesome. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I don't know of any other announcements that I have. Valerie, welcome. I see you popped in there. Thanks for the likes. So just for, since you guys are just tuning in now, Shanna, welcome. I see you popped in as well. I am doing, oh, and I want to talk about a little bit of a cool tool that they have on Twitch where it announces the tea that I'm drinking as I'm doing it. I set it up beforehand and it is awesome. So when you go on the Twitch channel, it'll tell you there. You don't have to ask what I'm drinking. It's in the About section. But yeah, the same thing I was talking about. I'm drinking, to catch you guys up, Blackberry Sage Oolong, and this stuff is really, really good. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But yeah, questions, comments, anything you guys want to talk about, now's the time. I'm going to answer Teresa's famous question: what would I pair this with? And honestly, I would go more on the dessert end. It's good for a standalone, but I think that this would be complemented well by something sweet. So if I were to say like a chocolate cake, or a mint chocolate bar, something that naturally goes well with berries, I would start with that. If I were to do it with an entree, probably a salad, like a Cobb salad or something. Something that's light. Usually they have salads that have like flavored vinaigrettes. Those would be the around the flavor profiles that I would pair this up with. Something nice and soft, light flavor, stuff like that. What else? Yeah, I can't really think of any other things that I would pair it up with. And I love how this is maintaining the flavor, even as it cools down. There's very little change. Right now, like as I drink it, the sweetness of the berries is coming out a little bit more. The sage is still good. The sage is still what's the word I'm looking for? It's still present, but it's no longer as prominent as it was when I first poured some. But yeah, this is like really doing a good job. And that's why I maintain that this would definitely taste really good iced, because it's got that strong flavor. It's got that strong berry flavor, especially, to come out and afford that massive sweet tooth that some people have. You just add sugar to it, and it'll go down well. Yeah. So okay. Is that a rainbow? You see a rainbow behind me? Like, am I the only one who doesn't see it? Like, I turn around. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I was having trouble, I guess, man vision. I can't see what's right in front of me. But yeah, this is a rainbow behind me. The more you know. Or do that SpongeBob thing. It sounds tasty. Where did I buy this tea? I got this from Adagio. It's also on the website. Um, I will post the link as always on the Facebook page after I wrap up. But this is a really, really, I highly recommend it, especially for summer, because during the summer, whether it's hot or iced, fruit teas go very, very well. This is the season for lemons, for peaches, for anything that's citrusy, even orange. You know, a lot of people love to ice blood orange tea. I actually mixed my own blend of blood orange and ginger tea, and it came out so good, especially when I iced it. Oh, as a matter of fact, I think I'll make some of that after this. What was this? You took pictures earlier of jumping around like a kid because you love rainbows. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and it's been a long time since I've seen one so prominent. Like it's just behind. I don't know. It's nice to have this right after the storm, because earlier the lightning was going on and it was kind of distracting. But in this case, you know, afterwards, it's nice to have a little break in the clouds. I think that makes for a good metaphor for 2020. Like, yeah, we're going through all of this, but I think that after everything is said and done, we'll have the rainbow at the end of the tunnel. Which tea is it again? This is Blackberry Sage Oolong. And it's delicious. Like, Shanna, you would love this tea. It does have a bit of a texture, but it's not a grainy texture. It's a softer kind of texture. I think that you'd appreciate that more than the rooibos. That's for sure. I got about 2 more sips left. So once again, questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now's the time. Oh yeah, the storm. That storm is just moving. Oh, it's been like this practically all day. But you know, it's good to be inside now and safe from it. What tea am I doing next week? I have no idea. Oh, yes. Thanks for reminding me, actually. Next week is going to be the beginning of July, so I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Now, during the summer, people usually celebrate iced teas. I don't usually do iced teas because the one time I did it, it took an hour and a half, but that was a full demonstration of how to make it. In this case, what I am going to do is what I plan to do. Because I don't know if I'd be able to schedule it properly. I should be able to. But what I want to do is a side-by-side tasting between between one tea as hot and iced. So we'll be doing it side-by-side, seeing the comparisons. And I'm going to choose some interesting flavors. Some I have done before as far as it being hot. And I'm gonna try it iced, and we'll see how it goes. So this is gonna be something. It might run the streams a little bit longer, but I think it'll be worth it because you'll get that side by side comparison firsthand, so you can decide for yourself whether or not you prefer it. But I do have plans for something very interesting coming up. As far as flavors are concerned, it's gonna be a good idea. As far as I know, I might regret it later. We'll see, but I don't think so. One sip left, but there's this like really nice, this flavor palette now. Now that it's cooler, for some reason I'm tasting it more on my tongue. I'm still getting it on the roof of my mouth, and it's still very hearty in flavor, but it's still combined with that on my tongue, and it's giving me a good flavor all around. So I take that back. Earlier when I said it was just sticking to the roof of your mouth, or my mouth, it's still doing that, but now that it's cooler, it's taking over more of my mouth. So that's I think that might have been just a fluke of the temperature. I don't know. We'll see. But last call. I have one sip left, so go ahead and ask your questions now or forever hold your peace. Oh, that's so good. Whew. There we go. So, down the hatch, everything is gone. Thank you, Sneha, so much, and thanks for your support. This has been an incredible blend, and I am certainly looking forward to it next week. Once again, this is Blackberry Sage Oolong, and I highly recommend it. This should be available online, so if you're not in the Chicago area, definitely check out this tea. It's really, really good. Okay, so in the meantime, I will see you guys next week. Have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you later. What is my favorite iced tea? Oh, you caught me just in time. My favorite iced tea, there's so many. I would have to say right now, yes, the tea does have a light taste. It's sweet, it's light, it's kind of silky, a little bit cottony, which is like it's very rare in a tea, but it does exist. But my favorite iced tea, I have been on a watermelon cooler, mint kind of flavor palette lately, and that has been like awesome. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's up there. I also made a caramel, what was it? Caramel rooibos iced tea that was out of this world. I know that that's not going to be your favorite, but like just the caramel tea blew me away. So that's it. I would have to say that those are among my favorites, but I really don't have a favorite. Maybe over the month I'll find one. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and check out. Have a great weekend, a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.